survival is not our top moral category, is it? Of course, to glorify God. It might even be just to save somebody else. On September 26, 2006, or September 29, 2006, Petty Officer Michael Monsoor, U.S. Navy SEAL, is on the roof of a building in Ramadi, Iraq with 2 other SEALs, and he's standing in front of a doorway, and a terrorist throws a grenade and hits Monsoor in the chest. It hits the ground. He can leap through the door and save himself, but he has a split second to make a decision. If he does leap through the door, the other 2 SEALs are dead. What does he do? He leaps on the grenade while yelling grenade. The grenade detonates. 30 minutes later, he's dead. 1 SEAL had a small piece of shrapnel in his leg, nothing else. At his funeral, 1 SEAL said, Mikey looked death in the face that day, and he said, "You will not take my brothers, I will go in their stead." Toward the end of President Bush's last term, he invited Monsoor's parents into the White House to give them their son's Medal of Honor. And every Navy SEAL virtually on the West Coast showed up to Monsoor's funeral. And when they passed the casket, they took off their golden tridents, which are very difficult to get. I was in the Navy, I was a naval flight officer. It was difficult to get wings. It was infinitely more difficult to get Navy SEAL tridents. Yet every one of the SEALs took their tridents off and pressed their tridents into the coffin of Monsoor as they passed. Now, Monsoor didn't survive, but everybody universally looks at that act of sacrifice as morally superior to mere survival. In fact, Jesus himself said, the best way to love somebody, you can't show love for anyone more so than to die for them in John 15:13, and that's exactly what Christ does for us. In fact, this is the way I ended one of my debates with Hitchens, because Hitchens tried to say that the sacrifice of Christ was immoral. There couldn't be a more moral act than the sacrifice of Christ, and you can't explain that by evolution.